Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Trap Draw podcast. I'm joined by my esteemed colleague, Mr. Big Randy, back from Green Bay. Sir, how was the trip?
Greetings, TC. Good to be here. Good to be chopping it up. We had a lovely time in Green Bay. You know, Sensei Sturm had set the expectations pretty high, and I can say the people and Lambo and just everything delivered on it. It was a great trip. We'll get into it a little bit later in the show, but yeah, awesome road trip. Any knowers out there, you know, whether your team's playing in Green Bay or not, I think definitely put it on your list. Well worth it.
Amen. Well, and thanks again to Sturm for popping on twice in a month. It's always surreal when he comes on.
He's the best. He's truly not even like, yeah, he loved talking sports with it. He's just a great dude. Like
Yeah,
really one of the just top humans I know.
just class, pure
Yeah.
class. Speaking of pure class, Mr. Jeezy, I think he did the opening entertainment at the Falcons game last night as
Oh,
well.
nice.
So shout out to him for that and for our opening entertainment. Falcons uniforms looked awesome last night. They need to make those their permanent
Yeah.
deals. Just a
Yeah.
good aesthetic. Falcons look good. Neil continues to need to see more from Penix. Not sure where that's coming from. Penix is fine, Neil. Keep his name out of your mouth. Bijan's a
Defense
stud.
looked good. I was trying to flip between a little football and also watching Brewers Dodgers.
Yeah,
I didn't see
as I
everything.
understand it, there was a big double play last night.
Oh, TC, it was insane. 404-foot double play. They I mean, it's hard to even describe, but the bases were loaded. The guy hit an absolute drive to center field. The Brewers center fielder, Sal Frelick, leaps up like he's going to take away a home run. The ball hits off his glove. It's off like the yellow
Which I thought the
padded
yellow
line.
was like a home run.
It's got to clear the yellow.
Gotcha. Okay.
But once the ball touches the wall, it's a hit, like it's in play, you know. And so the ball never actually touched the ground because Frelick he lands, he grabs the ball out of the air. The Dodgers don't know what's going on. He just fires it into the shortstop. The shortstop fires it home, and they get the runner coming home on what is a force play at the plate. The other runners like hadn't advanced, so then the catcher just jogs down and taps third for a force out at third. It was crazy. I still don't know how Hernandez though. He should have just been playing it as a tag up all along. I still don't know understand how he was not able to score one way or another. But yeah, it was wild. You never know what you're going to see at the ballpark.
Well, I was bummed to see my Brewers take the L. The great man Terang catching some flack today, I guess.
Struck out on a very high fastball at 2-2. You know, I thought on a 1-2 pitch, the pitch before he struck out, big curveball inside, and he kind of ducked out of the way. Again, bases were loaded in the ninth. They were down a run. I'm like, man, you got to lean into that pitch. You got to sacrifice the body and take that hit by pitch,
I
score
mean,
the tying run.
maybe that's playing the game the right way though. Like wanting to get on based on your own ability, not something cheap like a hit by pitch, right?
That's probably in the eye of the beholder. That's a tough one because you're right. There is some class in that, not
Yeah.
not leaning into the pitch, but that was a good baseball game. Hopefully tonight should be just as good.
Yeah. Mariners seem to be in firm control over on the other side. Um, yeah, Mariners Brewers would be awesome. That's what I'm rooting for.
So are the TV executives.
Well, before we get to, we've got a massive development in the housekeeping section here, but I wanted to thank ServPro first and foremost. Number one brand cleanup and restoration, known for making any mess like it never even happened. Got over 2,000 or sorry, 2,200 locations
2200
nationwide.
TC 2200.
Faster than any size disaster. Visit servpro.com or call 1-800-SERVPRO today. Title sponsor, the Trap Draw. They've been absolutely exceptional to work with this year. Randy, listen, I got a mess I got to clean up. Jedburgh is
Oh
in
no.
southern Scotland. It's in the lowlands, borderlands area, not in the Highlands. Had a bunch of people from the Highlands reaching out. demanding I correct that. So I regret the error there. And then on that note, the people that were hanging out there trying to form their own little kingdom, they've been
Oh, that's
forcibly
right.
removed.
Yeah.
So yeah. So just an update there. Also, I don't think this was on a trap draw. I think it was on just like I think one of our Ryder Cup shows. I said banal, it's banal, banal. Yeah, it's banal. Is it banal?
It's one of those words you like I hear so many different ways.
Well, it's certainly not banal. So I apologize for that.
I think let's go with
Um,
banal,
yeah, I get.
but that
Listen,
doesn't sound right as I'm saying it.
I get into trouble because I read a lot of these words and don't hear them. And I know what they mean, but I don't know really how to pronounce them. So,
Yeah.
um, anyway, and then I think we need to just come out and demand a formal apology from Poosh regarding Justin Fields. Just his entire repository of takes, stemming
Is
from the draft, even.
we've never gotten an acceptable blanket apology there?
No,
Is
and in
that
fact, Poosh was actually on X, the Everything app, over the weekend, denying that he had even really glazed
what?
Fields or yeah, that, he never really supported Fields.
That's
This goes all the way
insane.
back to the whole draft process and him lobbying for Fields to be the guy that the Niners drafted and all that. So, uh, yeah, so just push. We are patiently waiting. I think the Jets had -10 aggregate yards passing over the weekend, which is just incredible.
I think I had it less than that. The stats page that I saw was
Is it minus
negative
20?
or no, yeah, -10. You're right, you're
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Negative 10 total passing yards, sorry.
The guy just can't throw the football. Like, he just refuses to even throw it away. He just loves taking sacks. It's incredible.
He really should be running 20 like, if Justin Fields is your quarterback, he
It's the
needs to be
whole
running
deal. Yeah,
25 times a game. Yeah,
yeah.
he needs to be a 1,000-yard rusher. TC,
Uh,
do we give enough detail on these people that were removed from the Scottish woodlands? I mean, I feel like we kinda just brushed right past that. I don't
I
know
thought we did, but
if the trap draw is recognizing, the African kingdom that was being set up there. It was, this guy named Kofi Ofe was a self-proclaimed African king who called himself King Atehehe, and he was removed from a makeshift woodland camp in Jedburgh, Scotland.
I don't know what kind of standing the African king would have in the lowlands area of Scotland, or any area of Scotland for that matter, but, I'd be curious of that.
He was with a Zimbabwean partner and a Texas handmaiden, and
That was
honestly,
how we got onto it, was the Texas Handmaiden.
yeah, from this video, it looks like they were absolutely just enjoying life in the woods, and for months. Anyway, party's over, I guess.
Randy, I got good news for us. This is a a cleanup and restoration that I've been working on over the last 48 hours. My tabs back under control. I must have cleared
Massive.
through a couple hundred yesterday between my phone and my browser windows. So, just clearing out bandwidth, brain space, clarity. Very
That's
excited.
I'm really happy for you, TC. That is great to hear. Honestly, for on the flight back from Green Bay, I've had just this reading you know what I've started noticing, maybe you appreciate this, is I'll put stuff on my reading list on my phone, but I'm not very good at actually then going and reading the articles that I've saved to the reading list. And so,
Flights are a great time for that.
yeah, I got through about 4 or 5 of them on
Okay.
the flight home, and that felt good. So that gives me a little bit of momentum to keep going there.
Yeah, I feel like I'm kind of bifurcated. I've got the athletic, like a lot of my stuff's on the athletic. They've been just producing too much good stuff lately. The Athletic, New York Times, various other random publications. So I'm kind of bifurcated between those bookmarked or saved articles on there, and then stuff that's outside of those that are on my reading list as well on
Yeah.
my phone. So, and then Randy, I got just one more. This is just something I'm monitoring that may need to be demanded for a mea culpa, or a cleanup in the future. Is there's walk up songs. So like some of these teams that Gustav's 5, he plays T-ball, or it's coach pitch. And then if they don't, they swing on the first 2 and miss,
Sure.
and then they get to put it on a tee. He's playing great. It's awesome. He's on the Cubs, unfortunately.
We
But that's
hate
neither
that.
here nor there. They played the
That's tough.
Marlins last week, and, the Marlins insisted on having this game on Monday night, when everybody wanted to go to the Jags-Chiefs game. But anyway, the Marlins had all these walk-up songs.
No.
Each kid had their own walk-up song. They're 5. It's
No.
insane.
We gotta teach these kids to play the game the right way. You know, you earn the walk-up song as you progress in this game of baseball. And honestly, I would say I don't know if high schools do walk-up songs. I would hope not. Like that, maybe we're doing that if we're playing like big time college baseball, right? We certainly don't need it at T-ball games. I hate hearing that, TC.
I know that was gonna ruin your day, so,
They're
uh
probably bat flipping. They're probably what else are these kids doing out
well, they've
there?
got these bats that, Goosey has 2 bats. I don't know why he has 2 bats. I need to talk to Alex about that. I think one was from last season, one's from this season. But there's all these kids that have these bats that they're colored like a pencil. So the
Hmm.
end is kinda that erasery, kind
Yeah.
of orangish crimson color, and then a little, green and gold outline, and then the rest of the bat is yellow. It's just a really unsettling color scheme when it looks like a
Yeah.
kid's just, swinging a big pencil at the plate. And like, all the kids have to have their own helmets now, which I think is outrageous.
Is that a safety concern?
I
What
don't
like
know. It's
a
just there's just too much
lice?
shit. There's too much stuff.
Yeah. There
So
used to be I remember playing baseball growing up. I think there were 3 helmets. There was the gigantic helmet
yeah,
that never fit me. There was there was a tiny helmet, and then there was that one in the middle with, like, the good padding, right?
yeah. And
And
then there
then
was there was maybe 4 bats up there, and like
right.
you would just
You know, coach would bring, like, 3 bats. One of
yeah,
them might be okay. Then you might have a person or 2 on your team that had their own bat, and,
yes.
if they were nice, they'd let you use it.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Now it's
That's
it's it's out of control.
ugh.
I mean, there was a kid on the other team that had sliding gloves.
Oh my god.
They're
It
4 and
oh
5,
my
Randy.
god. It's not we're truly teaching them the wrong things. I hate that.
Crazy,
I hate that.
crazy. The sports industrial complex. So, anyway, that's another thing for
You should
another
instruct the
time.
adults. I don't know if you play this team again, but you should start commanding the inside of the plate, brushing them back. You gotta send a message.
God, that just reminds me of Neil and I. Neil twisted my arm. I think he was still in college. I was just early into my career, and he was like, "Hey, you should come play in this wooden bat league in Atlanta out at Dunwoody Seniors." So I was like, "Sure, I'll come play." I think I batted 8th or ninth the whole season. Bunch of like, kids that were like college pitchers, pitching Georgia Southern, Furman, not like high D1, but just they're still pitching in college. So they're bringing it low eight or high 80s, maybe touching low 90s. I hadn't played baseball since I was like 13. I remember the
Tough
first it
tough to
was
catch up to that.
I remember it was like the fastballs were one thing. It was when I got like a 12-6 or a 10-6 curveball or whatever that I buckled to the point of like I basically I looked like I was getting thrown out of the I was throwing myself out of
You
the
were
bar.
diving.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought the thing was gonna hit me in the face, and it was like low and away outside. Unbelievable. I think Neil still laughs about that. I don't think I made contact the whole season, Randy.
It's I mean, I'm laughing because I can't imagine. Yeah, that's I can't imagine facing that kind of fastball and then following up with a slider, curveball, something like that. I mean,
Meanwhile,
honestly,
Neil's hitting dongs with, like, wood bats. It's crazy.
I don't know if anybody please go listen to our Seamsters. We have Brent Rooker on, and he's so much fun to talk to. But he's talking about like, you're up at the plate and you got to be looking at a certain window and like guys that are like covering the inside of the plate. Like essentially you have to be looking for the pitch that you think is going to hit you, right? Like that slider, that curveball. Like that's the pitch they're actually looking for to do damage with because they just trust that it's coming back over the inside of the plate. Like I
Yeah,
left that conversation. I'm like, and watching games now, I'm like, I don't know how anybody hits anything. Like
it's
none of it
crazy.
makes sense to me.
And now they're throwing 102, 103. Although are the guns juiced?
I don't know. I don't know.
'Cause I think they're picking it up
Sounds
from
like
when
sounds
it
like
comes out
Solly's
of the
boy
arm
Ken Griffey
instead of
Jr. thinks they are. Yeah, he thinks guys aren't throwing any harder than they used to, which
well, I guess they're picking it up out of the right out of the hand instead of all the way to the plate. So it's faster coming out of the hand,
which
obviously.
obviously is gonna be the fastest, yeah,
Yeah,
because the drag and the friction, the air friction, but yeah,
yeah.
I couldn't tell you, TC. But I
Uh,
like the block. I think that should become your block is just being like the radars are juiced today.
yeah. You should
Nobody's throwing any faster
talk to
than they always
Dax
have.
about that. All right, well, we got a little housekeeping thanks to ServPro. We got a little housekeeping. Randy, I had a knower approach me at the grocery store. He was on the phone. He was on a conference call or something, so he couldn't really talk, but he just like kind of walked up and whispered to me. He said, "Hey," he said, like Sensei Bob, like just incredible. Just listened to it earlier this morning. Just incredible. Thank you for what you guys do. So that was great.
That's heartening. I can report I ran into a couple listeners, couple knowers in Green Bay who really appreciated the work we're doing as well. So
It's
we hear
important
you.
work.
It is important work. Yeah. We're humbled and we're proud to be doing the work.
And I think the work is really starting to shine, after these last few weeks of Jalen Hurts. A lot of
Have any
people
of
seem
your
to be coming
Eagles
around.
brethren, I was gonna say, are you getting any internal messaging
I
from your
think they're
Eagles
starting to
buddies?
soften a little bit. A lot of them are blaming Patullo, the new offensive coordinator, but
Mm,
it seems like Hurts has to have everything set up just so. The table has to be perfect for him to thrive,
yeah.
right? So, like,
You
when
know,
you've got
Neil's
2, all NFL, all pro wide receivers that are livid after a 4-0 start, like,
it's not good.
something going on, you know?
That's right. That's right. I think there might be a reckoning in Neil's future
Mm.
about he's had some pretty brazen Hurts takes on the record. So we'll certainly something to keep an eye on.
Randy, speaking of keeping an eye on, I think people have been clamoring for this for weeks now. We've got Transportation Secretary power rankings.
We do. I am prepared to unveil my first power rankings. TC, we went 5 deep here, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just dive right into it. You offer any thoughts, criticisms, feedback as I go here, but of course we're going 5 to 1. Let's start right here. Number 5. We're going to start with the very first transportation
I'm
secretary.
glad this guy was number 1 on my big board, actually. Alan S. Boyd.
Alan S. Boyd spent a ton of time down in Jacksonville, Florida. Listen, I think if you're the very first guy to do it, you're setting a ton of precedent. You're just important by default. So Alan S. Boyd hits the board at number 5. I would even listen if you want to bump him up a couple spots, but he certainly belongs in the top 5.
He was a huge proponent of train travel. I think later on, he worked with the Civil Aeronautics Board, the US Department of Commerce. He was a president of Amtrak later on. I think he did some stuff with Airbus Industries as well. So just a great American. I think he was an Army veteran as well.
He
Just served
was.
his country with distinction, Randy.
Yeah, I think he went on, something about,
Sorry,
like,
Air
the
Force,
Central
Army Air Forces.
Illinois Railroad. I think
Oh,
he was deep with the Illinois Railroad. Anyway, I'll let you look that up. We're gonna go number 4, alright? I don't know if anybody you should, if you've listened to us, if you're at all fans of the Trap Draw, even the NLU podcast, it made its way on there for just a time. But we're going to go number 4, Elaine Chow, who, of course, is the
wow.
wife of Mitch McConnell
Cocaine
and
Mitch's wife.
was really the reason behind one of the best sound bites from was it congressional Senate hopeful Don Blankenship who was talking about Cocaine Mitch and his quote China family. Well, Elaine, she is the wife of Mitch McConnell. She was born in Taiwan. Her parents are Chinese. So if there's no Elaine Chao, there's no Cocaine Mitch. So I feel like she certainly deserves a spot in the top
She
fives.
and, also, she served under various administrations. She served as director of the Peace Corps. She served as president of the United Way of America.
Yeah,
Lots of Fortune 500 boards. An impressive life regardless of your politics.
that's right. That's right.
What are you
Number
basing your your models off of here?
A lot of eye test, TC. A lot of eye test. I'll tell
Okay.
you that. Heavy, heavy, heavy eye test. Number three, listen, there might be a case that this is overranked. I will admit that from the jump, but we have Frederico Pena at number three. Now, why does Frederico Pena hit my board at number
Is
three?
this the namesake of Pena Boulevard
That's That's
out at the
exactly
Denver
right,
airport?
TC. Every time you go to the Denver airport, every time you come from the Denver airport, assuming you're not taking the train, which I like to take the train, I think Frederico would be down with the train as a Secretary of Transportation. Pena Boulevard. I believe it was after being Secretary of Transportation. He came back to Denver, was the mayor here in Denver, and Pena Boulevard, which is off I-70, the main road out to the airport, is named after Frederico Pena. Now, listen, if you're not a Denverite, if you've never flown in and out of Denver Airport, it might be a little high, but this is my big board. So
Okay.
Frederico hits the board at number three.
He served under Bill Clinton, the first Clinton administration.
Yes, yes. Listen, number two, I think didn't know where to put him. I think if you come on the trap draw, you're hitting my big board, and I think
Okay.
that's Mayor Pete. He's the only trap draw
Secretary
alumnus,
Pete.
Secretary Pete. Listen, I had a nice conversation with him. I appreciate his efforts and his sentiments about the need for competition, the need to introduce, perhaps more airlines, let them compete against each other. I appreciate the work he did to try to get travelers reimbursed for delays, et cetera, et cetera. But really, the trap draw appearance is carrying a lot of weight here, I will admit, and so I felt like Pete Buttigieg has to hit the big board.
Okay. DJ actually sent through a photo from gate B4 at
Five was it
oh, B5? It was 5? Okay.
or I thought DJ sent the photo from B5.
Okay. Then it was B5.
Yeah,
Very, very important gate to
at
Secretary Pete
O'Hare.
there
That's right.
at
That's right.
O'Hare. Yeah.
And so then that leaves number one. Listen, this was I had a tough time thinking
Fascinated to see where
who
you
would
go
be my
here.
number one.
I mean, big board. We've got Norman Mineta, on Kuiper's big board. We've got Ray LaHood, Rodney Slater, Andrew Card, Elizabeth Dole, Neil Goldschmidt, William Thaddeus Coleman 2.0, Claude Brinegar. A lot of ways we
John
could go here.
Duffy,
Yeah, yeah, the
Road
Duff
Rules
Man.
alum. TC, this person I think encapsulates what American politics should be about. Okay. They worked in government under Dwight D. Eisenhower. They stayed on and worked for John F. Kennedy. They worked for Lyndon B. Johnson. They worked for Richard Nixon. And then this person became Gerald Ford's Secretary of Transportation. I am talking about William Thaddeus Coleman 2.0. I just feel like he's a throwback in the best way, a super intelligent, well educated lawyer, did a lot in the public space, was bipartisan at his core, was working for the good of the people of this country. Was, I should mention, the first African American Secretary of Transportation, the second African American to take any cabinet level position. I feel like this is the best of us, TC. And for that reason, William Thaddeus Coleman 2.0 hits the board at number one.
Love that. He clerked for Supreme Court Justice Felix Frankfurter in 1948. Um,
Do you think they called Felix Frankfurter the big dog?
yeah, I hope so. He worked for Paul Weiss, the big, white shoe law firm up in New York. He was a second lieutenant in the Army Air Corps. Just uh, a man of letters.
Yeah,
UPenn and Harvard. Many people would say that these days that would be the deep state, Randy, career civil servants and
right. Of
but
course.
it seems like no, you're exactly right. Even served under George W. Bush, United States Court of Military Commission Review, just all sorts of civil service. So he passed away in looks like March 31st, 2017, at the age of 96.
A
So
life well lived, a long, rich life, and like I said, you can't work under that many administrations, Republicans, Democrats, if you're not just you're there to do the work, and I
yes.
gotta feel like our guy was there to do the work. So
Wow.
that's my power ranking, CC. Now, if anybody has quibbles with that, we certainly are open to outside opinions, but I feel like I feel comfortable starting there.
All right. Well, you may get the right upset with you on the Liz Dole snub, and then I know there's a lot of Norman Mineta fans out in California as
I
well.
thought about Andy Card. He was George W. Bush. He helped. I think he was the guy. Was it Card or Mineta that set up? I that set up the whole the whole TSA in the wake of 9/11. I,
Well, that
like
was I think
that's
that was more Tom Ridge,
well, I think
right?
he was the
He
Homeland
was Homeland
Security guy.
Security, but
Yeah.
doesn't Homeland Security fall under, or doesn't TSA fall under Homeland Security?
I think it does, but I think they probably worked hand in hand with the
Okay.
Secretary of Transportation when
Yeah.
they were, like, organizing it. Now
Yeah.
listen, I've gone years and years with I hated taking off my shoes, when I have to take off my belt, like, it's a bit burdensome, so I'm not
Right.
sure the TSA in its entirety has been a win, but that's probably another conversation.
I think DJ is gonna have a word with you for snubbing his guy Ray LaHood.
Yeah,
Uh,
I could see that.
so I'll let you guys take that offline
Well,
though.
DJ's guy might also be Sean Duffy. He's a Wisconsinite as well.
Well, Ray LaHood graduated from Bradley University, which is DJ's
Oh, I
alma
see.
mater.
Okay.
So
Well, he might
yeah.
have a couple gripes.
Where should we go now? I think listen, we're half an hour into this thing. We haven't mentioned uh Sister Jean's passing.
We probably should have led with that.
Yeah.
We spent a lot of time talking about Sister Jean. TC, I'll actually throw this back to you. What do you say in the wake of 106-year-old Sister Jean's passing?
Yeah, I think we covered it a few weeks ago where she had to take a step back from attending the games and serving her role. She worked almost all the way up to the end, so I really respect that. But at what cost, right? And at what was she performing her duties to the best of her ability all the way up to the end, or did her performance suffer? Which I don't think that should be up to her to decide when it's over. I think the university may have maybe should have stepped in. But um, listen, a life well lived, Sister Jean. I know she's taken a lot of flack from us, but a life well lived, 106 great years, and a fan till the end.
Did she get a little thirsty
Yeah,
in her old
absolutely.
age? Probably. But I think you're exactly right. A life well lived, 106. It's unbelievable.
Truly, truly. So a lot of people reached out, just giving their condolences. So all good on that front. Um, what else we got? We got some other monitoring. There was a Clippers shirt that really caught my eye. This is on X, the Everything app. Joey Lynn said, "quote Clippers coaches are wearing these shirts on the first day of training camp." And listen, hopefully Sister Jean would have liked this. The shirt says, "Get the fuck back." and it's get thee and back, separated out, and then the FUCK is floor balance, urgency. The C is consistent communication and concentration. So there's really three C's. And then the K is know we lost to Denver because of transition, which I think might be stretching it a little bit. Um,
Yeah,
but it's a good shirt. And
it's
I
a
think
great shirt.
Coach Flus would like that.
Coach Flus would like it. I think Sister Jean. I think Sister Jean knew ball. I think she would have loved it. I think she would have overlooked the profanity because of the message it was delivering of the importance of transition defense.
In urgency, floor balance, all of that. So love that. Randy, where do you fall out on the whole Clippers Kawhi Leonard fiasco?
I know this isn't a good thing to say, TC. I like haven't. I don't know if I even have an opinion. It's one of those stories where I've like always meant to kind of be like, okay, what's really going on? I truly have not done the homework. Have you read much about it? I don't know what to think.
I've read there was some stuff yesterday where they were trying to call into question some of Pablo Torre's reporting, which seems pretty much beyond reproach. Like I think he sourced the hell out of that thing. I listened to his podcast. Pablo Torre finds out, a lot of stuff that he's had to say about it. I don't know what the solution is. I don't think you void the contract because you're almost letting the Clippers out of it, or you void the contract but keep it on their books. Um, I think
Or
that would
just
be
like
interesting. Yeah.
take all their draft picks away, which
I think they definitely need to do that. Kinda like the Joe
okay.
Smith
Yeah,
Timberwolves
see.
deal. I think they
Yeah,
lost 5 first rounders. Now, I don't even know if the Clippers have five first rounders to lose for the
that's
next
true.
decade.
That's true.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I just expected more out of Ballmer, to be honest.
What are our thoughts on Uncle Dennis?
Big Uncle Dennis fan. I think he's exactly like he's a basketball creature, right? He's just the kind of guy that I think there's going to be a lot more Uncle Dennises in this NIL era, and they're kind of brought out from hiding a little bit of they're more prevalent now. They're more public facing.
Yeah, apparently Uncle Dennis is not shy in what he asks for on behalf of Kawhi. There was a report I read that like the Lakers when they were thinking about signing Kawhi back in 2018, like essentially laughed at Uncle Dennis. Some of the stuff I think Uncle Dennis asked for ownership from the Raptors. I heard, and then they were like no, and he was like, well, "What about the Maple Leafs?" Um, I feel like, yeah, Uncle Dennis is not afraid. I think Uncle Dennis's whole MO is the worst they can do is say no.
Exactly. Yeah, The Athletic actually had a really good feature on Uncle Dennis a few weeks ago. So I'll send it to you. We got Feinbaum. He's considering a Senate run.
Perfect. In Alabama,
Embrace
right?
debate. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Taking your guy Tuberville's spot.
Like, I feel like he could win.
I
I feel like
mean, maybe he's pissed off a lot of people though too, right?
that's true. Yeah, he's probably yeah. That's an interesting one. That's an interesting one.
Um, there's unrest in Madagascar. I saw that the president he fled the country yesterday, allegedly with the help of your guy Macron. Macron.
Mm.
I'm gonna mispronounce this
I
again.
think you had it Macron. That's how I've always heard it.
Macron, over in France, the French president. He needs to get his house in order. There's all sorts of they had a prime minister and her cabinet resign, and she's back now. It's French politics seem like they're just a complete mess right now.
Right now, it seems like that's
Just generally.
that's the comfort zone.
Yeah. Yeah. There's all sorts of unrest over in Pakistan going on, stuff in Afghanistan, India, that whole area is popping off. Obviously the Middle East is its own thing. Eric Adams, he flew to Albania. I guess that's a tent pole of his priorities is keeping up relations with Albania. and he did not fly Turkish Airlines. He did fly Star Alliance. He flew Lufthansa through
Okay.
Frankfurt.
But you did not go
Um,
to Istanbul.
he did not go through Istanbul. So,
Okay.
and then I guess his son is like a it's like a reality TV star over in Albania as well.
Sure.
And then some lady wrote a book or a memoir about being his mistress in kind of the early days of his administration there. So just a lot going on in Eric Adams' world right now. We cannot lose this guy. We got to keep him. Maybe he should be the next transportation secretary after
I
after
wouldn't
the
rule it
Duff
out.
man.
Yeah, wouldn't rule it out. You're right though. We need Eric Adams. He is just a walking content machine.
Yeah.
He's not running
Um,
for mayor, is that right? Has he
he
officially?
dropped out. He dropped
Yeah,
out. Yeah.
okay.
Which I guess there's the other guy I guess the Republican who's still running. He's a big cat guy. Loves cats. He's refusing to drop out.
Okay.
Um, and then Neil's guy Cuomo, of course, and
Oh, that's right, Cuomo.
Mom
Yeah,
Donnie.
yeah. Okay.
So,
Alright.
um, let's think H&B real quick. We got the fall collection still going strong, Randy. I'm actually wearing one of the hoodies right now. This is one of the little kind of lightweight stripe deals. It's got this dune color that's just fantastic. They've got dune, ivy, uh, heathered Bedford, all sorts of good fall colors. They've got a new premium merino cashmere blend hoodie, the Logan, as well as the Cunningham, which is a quarter zip, and the Shaw, which is a crew neck. It's a clean, soft look for shoulder season, featuring their signature fit and subtle design details. They got a new full zip jacket called the Swenson. It's got thermal insulation, innovative stretch performance fabric with the perfect balance of warmth, comfort, and versatility. I talked about the colors a little bit. You got Amherst, Exeter, Bedford, Ivy, Saffron, Russet. You got new colors of Ivy and Smoke in the Baxter corduroy pant. I actually packed those for my trip tonight. Those are fantastic here for the fall. So trap 10 at hbgolf.com, 10% off your first order. Again, only discount on the market for H&B along with our no laying up one. So hbgolf.com.
It's a really, if anybody's watching or cares to check out this episode on YouTube, I really love that kinda heathered texture look on your hoodie, TC, that's very nice.
Thank you. Yeah, I think in our store we've got this one in Dune. We've got this one in the kind of that light, kind of Nantucket pinkish red, which heathered, and then we've got it in the light blue, heathered light blue. It's awesome. So super
Yeah.
soft. So hbgolf.com. Thank you to them for their continued support of the trap draw and no laying up at large. Randy, I flagged this one. I thought you were going to have a good reaction to this one. There's a Japanese city that
Mm,
introduced a rule limiting the use of digital devices to 2 hours per day outside
yeah.
of work and school. And some people have said it's too heavy handed. Others have said people are talking and they're having more conversations in person now. What do you make of this?
Alright, well, let's get into this because it's fascinating. I do think it's fascinating. So, yeah, October 1st, 2025, New York Times story. The city is, and Poosh, I apologize, I'm sure I'm not gonna say
Three
this
mea
correctly,
culpa.
Toyoake, Toyoake, Japan. And the mayor there has led an effort for the city to pass an ordinance, which was approved 12-7 by the city assembly, that limits outside of school and work, that limits citizens' smartphone or any really just screen time to no more than 2 hours per day. Now, the mayor is the first one to say this. They're not actually going to track people's usage. This is very much a um, what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of ceremonial gesture, I think. But the culture of Japan is to follow official guidelines. So it is an official guideline. A lot of people are not in agreement with this. They talk to some people that are. The mayor, for his point, says, let me find this quote.
feel like people here in the States do not like official guidelines.
Right. The mayor, and what is Masafumi Kouki, he said, quote, "It's so sad to end your day looking at your smartphone all the time at home. I hope that citizens change their behavior."
I like it.
I like it. I do like it. And I agree with him. I There are times where where did I hear it? I just heard somebody refer to it as a digital pacifier, and now, like, I cannot
Oh,
get that term out of my mind. I spend too much time on my phone. There are times when my wife and I are just at home, and I look up and I'm like, "Oh, we're just, like, on our phones. We're in the same room." And, like, listen, do we have to not be on our phone at all? No, but I do believe, TC, that as a society, as a people, it feels like we're letting slip just these opportunities where we could meet, interact, have just human connections with people that are both our family, our friends, and total strangers. And I say that realizing, like, there are days, there are moods that I get in where, like, the last thing I wanna do is, like,
mhm.
talk to a random person, right? Like, I recognize that. But I just think of, when I talked to Michael Bamberger on the NLU podcast, and him talking about, like, life is kind of about just those little unexpected moments, and a lot of those moments happen with other people, right? It involves another human, and I just think.
Or when when you're not buried in something, when you have
Right,
your head up and you
right.
can actually meet that moment, right?
Yeah. And you see and recognize the humanity in somebody else. They do the same for you. Like, I don't know. I say all that and I'm like, man, I know that makes me sound old, but I I don't like it. It feels like we're on a trend that isn't very comfortable, and
Yeah.
maybe not what I like, TC.
I do feel like I think it's becoming a lot more acknowledged, and, like, I think in order to fix a problem or change a problem, you've gotta at least acknowledge it. It seems like it's rapidly becoming acknowledged and accepted and studied now that, hey, we've we've got a problem on our hands, right? And I think,
Yeah.
like, I kind of look at my own habits a little bit of, like, I love to read the newspaper, just various papers or magazines or whatever, and it may look like I'm just on my phone dicking around when it's actually, like, in the past that would be sitting there with a physical newspaper
Yeah.
reading, or it's like, I think for me it comes down to, like, intentionality of when I feel myself getting, it's almost like when you're swimming and you feel like you're getting sucked under with, like, an undercurrent, or, a riptide of, like, all right, you got to break yourself out of that. And you don't, like, you may not even realize it at first. And I think for me, that's where the algorithms are, and all the,
Yeah.
just the mindless scrolling, right? It's
It,
like, all right, how do you stay abreast of stuff, but at the same time, know where to draw the line?
and I think that's where I would kind of pinpoint this discussion, maybe, is like, um if you're reading, for instance, like on your phone, reading an article, like that's great, right? Presumably you're learning something about something. It's the time spent on algorithmically based apps or sites, or what have you, that's where I've really noticed, like, I need to change this for myself. And it's never going to happen where, like, we dictate that onto people, but I do think you're right that more and more people are realizing, like, hey, this is not healthy. It's not normal. Like, it just, I don't know, man. It seems like such a big sea change of human behavior, and we've just rushed into it. And 50 years from now, I think there's going to be a ton of research, or, like,
I would say 15 years from now, not
Yeah,
even
we have no
50.
idea what
Yeah.
the repercussions are, right? I never watched that documentary, The Social Dilemma. Um,
Yeah.
I probably
Social
should.
Dilemma's good. The Anxious Generation was a really good book. Read that a
Yeah,
year or 2 ago. Yeah, and because I think that's the thing, like, the more time I spend just aimlessly scrolling or on social media and all that, it's like, yeah, the anxiety goes through the roof, and it's
right.
not tethered to anything specifically. It's just it's
Just
just like
generalized
just
anxiety.
flooding your, just flooding all your receptors there. So,
Yeah.
um,
So, to bring it back to here, I respect the mayor for
yeah,
doing
it's
something.
it's a cool swing, right?
Yeah, he's kind of about something, and he's putting his name on this.
Yeah.
So, will be interesting to track.
Randy, just something that I've been tracking. This was huge breaking news out of Denver, uh, last couple weeks. This is per the NBC affiliate, your NBC affiliate out there. The best selling item at Ball Arena. You guess what it is?
I think I would have guessed churros.
Okay, it's Dippin' Dots. It's the ice cream of the future.
TC, here's a 100% sincere question.
You don't like Dippin' Dots.
No, 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 it's a question for you.
Okay.
How much longer can Dippin' Dots have the tagline, "The ice cream of the future"? Is the future here?
I think indefinitely. I think if anything, like they still haven't taken hold, right? So at some point in the future, they're going to take hold, or I guess they have taken hold out in Denver,
That's right.
but not other places. Yeah, I just somebody the other day, friend of mine, David in New Jersey, he was just saying like, man, like the Dippin' Dots thing isn't a bit. You actually like those? I'm here to say I love them. Like they're
And let
so
me tell you
good.
guys, since the day I met Tron, he's loved it. Like, as long as I've known Tron, I've known that he loves Dippin' Dots. That goes hand in hand.
Thank you. Yeah. Speaking of just early going, I remember going to Miami hockey games or basketball games and getting cotton candy on the meal plan as well. Uh, it seems our hockey team's starting to dig themselves out of the depths.
We have exceeded the win total from last season, TC. Miami Hockey is 4-0 to start this new year. They won 3 games all of last year. I have heard, um, it's the second year for a new coach. I have heard people think that the new coach is good. He knows what he's doing. He's young, energetic. I think they're on the rise. They play in the toughest conference in college hockey, the
Both
NCH.
like competition wise and travel wise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't necessarily expect a tournament appearance this year for our Red Hawks, but if we can, honestly just win some conference games, they didn't win any last year. We are still firmly in the rebuild, but it's nice to collect some wins. That is a
Okay.
good thing.
All right. Well, yeah, I loved hearing that. I saw it on our guy Buchagras's
Yeah.
rankings.
And
So
I
it
think they
was
got
refreshing.
receiving votes in, like, the official ranking that came out
Okay.
yesterday.
Um, a couple other monitoring things. We got this New World screwworm. It's starting to affect cattle. Just keep an eye on it out there, Randy. You're closer to the action out in the high plains than I am.
I
Um,
will.
but I guess they've been kind of trying to bring some cattle from elsewhere to finish them here in the states, and they can't because they got this New World screwworm. So, in other beef news, the Europeans, specifically the Germans, are going after terms like burger and sausage and saying that they're only reserved, like you can only use those terms on real meat. You can't use it on any of the soy based or the vegetarian, fake
Oh,
meat.
interesting.
Yeah, words matter, Randy.
Yeah. Huh. I wonder what
So
could yeah, I'm trying to think, like, patty? Or I'm trying to think what you would call a burger that's, like, soy-based.
yeah, that's a great question.
Huh.
I feel like we kind of have to come up with a new word, right?
Right, that's what it feels like.
Yeah. We'll keep an eye on that. United added flights to Split, Croatia, and Glasgow, Santiago de Compostela, cool spot in Italy as well. So just keeping you abreast of that, Randy. I think the Glasgow one's huge. Being able to fly direct from the States into the west coast of Scotland is because Glasgow used to be the big airport there, and then it moved over to Edinburgh over the last 10, 15 years.
Where are they running those? Is that like out of the East Coast
I
or
think they're running
Chicago?
those out of Newark. Yeah,
Okay.
I think they're gonna do it on a narrow body, like a
Okay.
737 MAX. But I assume when they get these new A321 XLRs with lay flats, they're gonna start running that on some of these routes.
Okay.
So, and then oh, this was a beauty. Our guy Magic Jeff sent this over. There was a Georgia judge that got pinched for DUI at our beloved Jacksonville institution, Wackos. I think
THG is a
THG.
huge fan of wackos.
Yeah, this was in the AJC. This guy, the president of Georgia's Council of Superior Court Judges, was arrested early Tuesday. This was last week on charges he was intoxicated when he backed his car into a pickup truck in the parking lot of a Jacksonville strip club, Wackos, according to a Florida arrest report. This guy, Burt Guy Jr., presides over cases in a 5-county Brunswick judicial circuit. So down here, not far away, southeast Georgia. Um, just very unfortunate. Wackos, not Jack's not a big strip club town. I'm not a big strip club guy, Randy, but certainly coming down here to indulge in our strip clubs. I would recommend he goes to Atlanta for the strip clubs.
Sure.
Go
Sure.
north instead of coming south. So
I am reading he has subsequently stepped down from his role as president of the state's Council of Superior Court Judges.
but he's still
So
a judge.
it appears he's still a judge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Listen, that's kind of all I got on the monitoring front. Let's talk about your trip to Green Bay.
Would love to, TC. Couple tie-ins here with things we've already talked about. We had an excellent experience flying United into Appleton, Wisconsin, the old Denver to Appleton direct route.
What kind of bird
Little,
they flying on that route?
little ERJ 175, I believe. The kind of
The
the
Embraer
yeah,
175? Okay.
yeah. On the way there, got an upgrade for me and the missus. She was tickled.
Wow.
Yeah. So we got to sit up in first class. It was my birthday. She didn't know if they had upgraded me because it was my birthday. I said probably not,
I know
but
you're a huge birthday guy too.
yeah,
Nobody
yeah,
loves birthdays like Randy. He gets pissed if we don't,
make
if
the
we
most
don't
of it.
mention it on Slack and do a whole deal about it.
Pretty much everybody I run into, I make sure that they know it's my birthday. It's yeah, it's a whole thing. Appleton, Wisconsin airport, really nice, really
Yeah?
nice. 10 gates. I think they had just they're looked like they had about 4 gates, 5 gates initially, and then a little addition, opened up some new ones, but new, clean. Yeah, very, very impressed with the Appleton Airport.
So this is not so Green Bay has its own airport. This is
Green Bay has
Appleton.
its own airport.
Okay.
United does not fly direct from Denver to Green Bay. I guess that's a huge Frontier route. So
Oh.
I did not want to fly Frontier, so we went into Appleton, which is about a 35,
You
40
used to
minute
be a big
drive.
Frontier guy.
I know, I know. Well, listen, when I'm buying 2 plane tickets, I'm gonna use some of those United miles that I've been able to accrue. So we had a great Uber driver. I want to shout out my guy Dave, who drove us from Appleton to our hotel. We stayed at the Kohler Lodge, literally right across the street from Lambeau. Dave had some takes. He was a takesmith, TC. Long haul trucker, Uber driver, just does not trust the stats when it comes to Jordan Love. He firmly believes his eyes are telling him Jordan Love is just not a good decision maker. And you know what?
He's
I'm
throwing
not
off
sure
his
I
back
disagree
foot
with
all the
him.
time.
I
Yeah.
know. He did throw just a bad pick in that Bengals game. So I think there might be something to Dave's theory. Dave also, for being a big sports fan, did not realize they were paying college athletes, could not
Wow.
believe that Arch Manning was, I don't know what exactly Arch Manning's getting, but I was like, "Oh,
So
he's gotta be getting
so you broke
$1,000,000."
that news to him in real
Uh,
time?
yes, I broke that news to him. He was flabbergasted.
Apoplectic.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, I enjoyed the ride so much, I said, "Dave, listen, we have an early Monday flight back home. Could we get your services?" We did a little personal deal, we kept the third party out of it, and,
Love that.
Dave picked us up Monday morning and drove us back from Green Bay to Appleton. Just a delightful guy. Green Bay is fantastic, TC. The whole vibe of the town truly is a Midwestern tailgate, big game atmosphere. It feels like it could be like a college football game going, but it just happens to be an NFL game. So we got in late Friday, didn't really have, watched the end of who was playing the Tigers Mariners, that extra innings game, went
Mhm.
to bed.
That was a really long
Saturday,
one, like the
yeah, it was
13 or 14
15.
inning one. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Saturday morning, Kohler Lodge has it's kind of like the Refuge out in California, but
Oh,
not as big. But they have a whole spa area where you do the thermal cycle. So they have a
this is
steam room and a
Kohler.
sauna.
This is like
Herb. Yeah,
Herb's
this
rest
is
in peace,
Herb's
Herb's
people.
spot. Okay.
Yeah, Herb's people. So we did that Saturday morning. I can report Goodbar had never been in a sauna or a steam room in his life.
Really?
He walked into the steam room, immediately started choking because of the steam, walked out immediately, would not go back in. So that was a bit of a bummer
What do you think of the sauna?
for him. He just didn't like the sauna. So he ended up just sitting in the hot tub the whole time, pretty much, having a
That
few
sounds
beers.
about right.
Yeah.
Come on, boy.
Yeah, did not do the cold plunge at all. So they had a cold plunge, steam room, sauna, hot tub, regular pool, and like kind of this relaxation room with some loungers. We had a good time Saturday morning doing that. Saturday afternoon, we did the stadium tour at Sensei Bob's behest. We did the stadium tour at Lambeau, and I would recommend it. I was very glad we did it. It was an hour long.
Mhm.
They take you, you meet in this like new atrium area that's part of the new renovation around Lambeau. It's a gorgeous facility, and they take you first up to like the club level. They have awesome artwork all around the club level. I'm super impressed with the artwork, all Packers themed, of course. They take you into the suite, they sit you down, they kind of explain the whole history of Curly Lambeau and how the Packers football team started in Green Bay. They played town football all across Wisconsin, northern Michigan. All the towns had little football teams that would play each other. Curly Lambeau gets to Green Bay, becomes friends with the editor, the sports editor at the local newspaper, and he's like, "There's no football team here." Curly is a Notre Dame guy, graduated from Notre Dame, came up to Green Bay, and so the editor places an ad in the newspaper saying, "Hey, we're forming a football team," and 21 young men come out, and that's the very first Packers football team. Anyway, it goes from there. They get their name. I think it was the Indian Meat Packing Company, which was packing meat into cans during World War One. And I forget if Lambeau worked there. Maybe that was some of the initial financial backing. But anyway, that's where the name Packers come from, the meat
Okay.
packers.
And I know
And
we're gonna get some messages from Packer fans that are they're gonna clear it up
I'm
for you,
sure I've
so
butchered some of this. I should note, TC, this blew my mind. This was kind of like the big reveal of the whole tour. Our tour guide, who we loved, kind of chit chatting during some of the walks between stops. We overheard him say he grew up in Green Bay, lives in Green Bay now, but he's like, "Yeah, I spent some time elsewhere. I was here, I was there. I was in Oxford, Ohio for 5 years." And we immediately perk
whoa.
up. Oxford, Ohio, huh? What were you doing in Oxford, Ohio? Come to find out, the guy's name is Mark Mazzolini. TC, he was the head hockey coach at Miami from 1994 to 1999. He was the guy right before Rico Blasi.
Was he between Katie and Blasey?
I forget if Katie was on. No, it was George Gwozdecki was the
Yeah,
guy immediately in front of him. He was, but he coached like
it's
some of the best,
incredible.
some of the best guys to ever come through Miami, like Dan Boyle, Kevin Adams was there during his tenure. Yeah, it's incredible. He was the CCHA Coach of the Year one year. Like, holy shit! Now you're doing Packers tours. It's unbelievable. Great guy. The other fun fact we learned, the Packers, if you see their throwback jerseys, they're blue and gold. I
Mhm.
don't know if you've ever seen those.
Yeah,
We're like, "Wow, why were they blue and gold?" Well, the initial team colors, because Curly Lambeau was a Notre Dame guy, he just made them essentially the Notre Dame colors. And when Lombardi got to town, one of the first things he did was he said, "Boys, this is Green Bay, not Blue Bay." So they changed it from blue and gold to green and gold.
makes
So
sense.
hence now the colors. Yeah. Went into Lombardi's history, like, honestly, fascinating guy. I didn't realize Lombardi won. He left Green Bay. Washington, then the Redskins, had lured him away. And he coached 1 year for Washington before he died of a very aggressive form of cancer. And like
Didn't know that.
immediately upon his death, that's when they named the trophy the Lombardi Trophy in his honor. But he just, he was obviously the big guy that came to town. And they went through, there were some periods throughout the Packers history where they had fallen on financial troubles and did like stock issuances and went into like the renovations of Lambeau, et cetera, et cetera. The tour, we got to walk out the tunnel that the Packers walk out. They take you down to field level. We weren't
I know
allowed
you're a
on the
big Brett
grass.
Favre guy too.
Exactly. To
That'd be a
walk that
tour.
hollowed hallway of Brett Favre and Mark Chmura and, uh, I'm trying to think of any others.
Disgraced.
It was really cool. It's really cool. I think Lambeau and the point was really driven home. Like, Lambeau is kind of a one in apologies to Buffalo, because 'cause I'm trying to think of other NFL stadiums, like,
Well,
Lambeau's
that's
kind
the
of
house that the Juice built, was Buffalo.
right. I would kind of put Buffalo maybe on a tier just below Lambeau, but like baseball, you still have Wrigley, you still have
Yeah,
Fenway. In the NFL, it's really like Lambeau is the historical stadium that
yeah.
still exists today. So it's very cool. I would encourage, if you go to Green Bay for a game, definitely do the stadium tour.
Where'd you
It's
guys
it's
sit?
a fantastic time. So we sat like awesome seats. We sat mid lower bowl. So on the aluminum bleachers, on the Packers sideline, 32 rows up. So kind of just high
Yeah,
enough where you have a nice kind of view of the field. We were right at about the one, like, I think it was like 30-35 yard line. So pretty nice view there.
good
Um,
experience for spectators in there?
And they live up to the hype, man. It's just so much good-natured kinda ribbing, but also like, "Hey, welcome, you guys having a good time?" Like, everybody's just kinda talking to you and wanting to make sure, they're acknowledging that you're there visiting,
Yeah,
and that's really cool. It sounds like, if you're a Bears fan or a Vikings fan, that you don't really get that same hospitality, but certainly for like an AFC team that comes in once every 8 years to Lambeau,
yeah.
very accommodating. The tailgate scene is awesome, like, truly, as Bob was saying, just neighborhoods of houses all around a gigantic NFL stadium. And a lot of like crash pads, what I imagine are like Airbnbs or just like hosting, right? Just
Mhm.
places to go and be there on Packer weekends with big screen TVs and everything decked out in Packers this, Packers that. It was very cool. So the game itself, the Bengals were at least competitive. They got it to within 6 points in the fourth quarter. Flacco looked better in the second half. Offense
It's
didn't do
pretty
anything in the first
remarkable that
half.
Flacco can hop in on, like, 4 days' notice and
Yeah,
start.
yeah. Defense just couldn't get off the field a couple times. But yeah, it was a great trip, TC. I'm trying to think of any. Oh, we went Saturday night for dinner. again, at Bob's recommendation, we went to the Union Hotel, which is this like very old hotel, restaurant bar,
Okay.
kind of a simple steak and walleye halibut type place. Just excellent ambiance, excellent vibe. So that was a very good meal Saturday night.
Love that. Where are you guys gonna go
Yeah.
next year? What game you think you're gonna go to? I mean, I
We
guess
have
it's dependent
started
upon
talking
what the
about that.
schedule is gonna be, but
Yeah, I think Goodbar's got this whole he took us into he's got, like, this whole Excel spreadsheet where it's like he's got all the future opponents mapped out for 10 years. Next year's crop isn't great. Of course, there'll be a couple based on, like, where the Bengals finish in their division that we don't know yet, but I think
Mhm.
the NFC South, I think they go to Atlanta, to Charlotte. Of course, you have the AFC division games, and I think maybe they're with the AFC South. I thought he was saying Indy. There wasn't one that just leapt out at us. I
yeah.
I, I don't know what we'll do next year,
Well,
but
now that your guy Brian Callahan's not in
and
Nashville anymore.
right,
Hated
less
that
of
for you.
less of an incentive to go to Nashville. I think maybe New York was in there, which New York's cool, but getting out to
Yeah,
New Jersey for the game seems like it might be a pain in the ass. So I don't know yet, but we had
okay,
started kind of discussing.
yeah. What'd you make of the Brian Callahan news? I mean, just they
I
fire
think it was
Vrabel
the
because he gets into a power struggle with Rand Carthon. Then they bring in they bring in Callahan. Callahan picks the GM. Callahan gets fired. They're stuck with a new GM now. Mike McCoy is it's just a
yeah.
mess.
It's a mess. I I've been very consistent. I was flabbergasted that Callahan ever got that job, so
You
it's
think
just
you
not
think Zach
shocking
hires
me.
him back?
Um, I don't know. I think Zach
Is it time?
I think it would be time if you could guarantee me Tobin was going too.
Yeah. Tobin, not Tobin and Squee. We're talking Duke
Not
Duke Tobin.
Duke Tobin. I don't I have to think about it. It's tough, TC. It just seems like football looks so difficult right now. And you look around the league and other backups and just how offense is, and it's like, I don't think it should be this difficult. And yeah. Big Thursday nighter. They have the Steelers at home. It's a whiteout, TC. They're going with their snowcat uniforms, the all white
Uh,
ones.
Speaking of whiteout, sorry about your guy James Franklin of Penn State. I know you're a big Penn
That's tough.
State guy.
Big game,
Uh,
James.
Tomlin was pissed that the Browns traded Flacco to the
Yeah.
Bengals. You see that?
That was a weird comment to make ahead of the game Thursday, I thought.
Yeah. THG's a Flacco doppelganger, so I'm sure he's gonna get, mistaken for, Flacco for the next however long.
Yeah, I hope we're not I hope we're not doxing THG, but he does look a lot like Joe Flacco. And so when Joe Flacco comes rolling into Cincy, we were very curious how THG's day to day was going to be.
Yeah. Randy, I think, our Boz 0 takes continue to age well, continues to struggle. McDermott might need to call in the Mujahideen up there in in Buffalo. We can save some knowers stuff for a future
I feel
ep.
like the NFL, it's like who do you really trust? I feel like all these teams they kind of feel like they're on 2 3 week cycles where
Yeah.
you feel really good about them, really bad about them. It's like just wait a few weeks, it'll flip. I don't know what I I feel like I'm not sure of much at all, and I feel like what are we now 6 weeks into the season?
Yeah.
It's starting to get to the point where it's like no, we should know some like true identities of these teams,
I
but
was really
I
disappointed
don't
to see the
know.
Lions lose to the Chiefs.
I was too.
That
That was yeah,
sucked.
exactly.
I was pretty impressed with the Seahawks. I don't think they're there yet personnel wise, but I think I think Big Mike out there is a good coach. I'm picking up what he's putting down.
Yeah. I mean, the Colts, like, I
Yeah.
don't trust them, but they're scoring
Vanilla
points.
Vic, man.
I know, I know. Yeah, you're
If
right.
they can just stay
Broncos,
away from the pregame injuries. I guess they had, like, Trevarius Ward got a concussion, and then, uh,
were they
Anthony
hitting
Richards,
people
big
pregame?
tone. Yeah,
I can't figure out the Broncos. I mean, the defense is really good, but
yeah,
Knicks in the offense are stinky.
yeah. That was a
I
weird game.
Yeah,
Panthers are kinda weirdly frisky sometimes.
right.
Baker's a dog, bottom line, period, point blank. Um So, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's thank FanDuel real quick. Randy, there's nothing like
Alright.
the MLB postseason. I don't have to tell you that.
No, you
It's
don't.
one big game after another, and you know what? Big games deserve bigger payouts. That's why FanDuel is giving all customers a profit boost to get in on MLB postseason action. So you can use your profit boost on home runs, strikeouts, who will win the game, much, much more. Randy, I'll tell you what I got a problem with on MLB. I got a problem with these bullpen games.
You
These
don't like them.
I think it's unsporting, especially in the playoffs. Like, you should have a starter, and that starter should go 4 or 5 games. I'm sure you can bet on that with FanDuel, how long the starter goes.
Yeah. You play 162 games kinda one way during the regular season, and then you get to the postseason, and it's like the game becomes, I won't say radically different, but at least how some teams use their pitching staffs becomes totally different. It is strange. I'm with you, TC. And I do also yearn for the days when your starting pitcher would go out there and give you 6, 7, 8 innings. I'm
Exactly.
with you there.
Exactly. So, yeah, like, I may start basing my wagers on that stuff. Uh, which it seems like the Mariners do have some dudes like that. So, they might be my guys on the AL side. You can visit fanduel.com/trapdraw to claim your profit boost. Play your game with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. Must be 21 or older and present in select states, or 18 or older and present in DC, Kentucky, or Wyoming. Opt-in required. Bonus issue is non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration. Max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. Randy, how's the baby stuff coming? You got
Oh my
any
god.
any big decisions, or any? You were talking about the stroller stuff a couple weeks ago, picking
Every
our
day I
brains
feel
on
like
that.
there's something new that just makes me more anxious, TC. It was the stroller stuff last week. We're going back to Cincinnati next month, and some family friends, aunts are throwing a baby shower for my wife, which is awesome. Can't wait. That'll be great for her. But it means we have to like make a registry, right? Because people want to
Yeah.
get you stuff. Again, awesome. Have no idea what should be on this registry though. And the most high stakes, I mean, the highest of high stakes was what kind of stroller do we need? And TC, I didn't know about, we're seeing, I guess it's like Nuna, Duna, Uppa are like
Yeah.
the big three, it seems like. Trying to pick apart the differences, the pros, cons within all those. Cat made me, I took it to the boys. I took it to our Slack thread last week. I said,
Which
guys,
was brave of you.
I need to know your thoughts on strollers. She settled on one, and now that I'm thinking, I'm like, I forget which one we
I
even
think
settled on.
you're gonna be happy with whichever one. We were an UPA family, or Uppa,
Okay,
UPA, whatever. I think that was, largely due to the Swedish connection there, but,
sure.
um, it could be said that the reason we live in Florida now is because the stroller that Alex wanted, we got it, we put it together, it wouldn't fit in we had this old school elevator.
In Boston.
We had a full-on meltdown. We lived on the 4th floor of this, walk up, and had this little elevator, and it was too wide, and so and we couldn't keep it downstairs, so she just completely broke
Just throw
down.
your hands up.
Yeah,
What are we doing?
truly.
Yeah.
It's just like, "We're getting the fuck out of here." So, listen, I think they're all good.
Okay.
Tough
All
to
right.
make a bad choice.
Well, now, the latest anxiety is whether or not we need to be on a daycare wait list already. It's,
Yeah,
talking to some people, it seems like we're already late. That's causing a lot of strife in the house. Um, so I don't know, TC. I feel like I need a secretary. Just I need help just to help me get ready for this baby. I don't know how people do it. I truly don't know how people do it.
I mean, they do it. They do it, you're gonna be fine, and
And I feel like, are we just overcomplicating everything,
totally,
right? Like, at the end of the
totally.
day,
You're gonna be
you only
fine, and you
need,
can't really
yeah,
prep. Like, there's only so much you can prep for, and then at some point, like, your world's gonna get turned upside down, but in a good way, and you're gonna just get through it, and, you just kinda focus on taking it hour by hour, keeping the little guy or gal alive, and it's just
just
it's
one
awesome.
priority every day, one
Exactly.
priority.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's pretty simple, like, when you boil
yeah.
it down, you know? Uh, so, anyway.
And millions of people have done it before us. That's what gives me hope, you know?
Billions.
Yeah,
Billions of people
billions that quite
without yeah, without electricity and running
without these
water.
fancy strollers, without,
Yes,
can we take that car seat and put it, all this stuff. We don't people have
exactly.
people have done this without this. So,
You're gonna be fine.
yeah, that gives me hope.
Yeah.
We're
And
s
there's so much shit that you can't prep for. You just gotta take it as it comes, and you just gotta learn it as it
yeah,
happens, you
yeah.
know?
We gotta be
So,
flexible, we gotta be pliable, we gotta roll with the punches.
yeah,
That's yeah. That's
yeah.
that's what we're that's what I'm gonna start preaching in this house. We
Yeah, I
gotta get in
mean,
a mindset.
floor balance, urgency, consistent communication and concentration,
Yeah.
uh,
Know that we got beat last
transition
year because
defense.
we didn't get back.
You're gonna be playing some defense, all right? What else is going on? Any good reads lately?
I read a novel. Yeah, I'll shout out a novel I just read. It's by actually a Scottish writer, Andrew
Okay.
O'Hagan. It was a novel called Caledonian Road. I really enjoyed it. Kind of a satirical take on modern life. A ritzy kind of art historian slash podcaster is the main character, and kind of goes
Sounds
through
like
a bit of
you.
modern life. Yeah, yeah. I like the characters. In one of those novels, I had never read anything by this author that now I'm like, oh, I need to check out some of his catalog. So I've picked up another book of his called Mayflies, which he wrote several years earlier. Caledonian Roads, I think, his newest one. So
Okay.
yeah, I would shout that out. How about on your end?
I got one, it's called The Season. It's, picked it up actually last night, just kind of a quick breezy read. It's about, like, Australian rules football and, like, a kind of a teenager and a mom and going through the
Okay.
season of that. So, Helen Garner's the name of the author.
Uh,
Um,
uh, Fiction or nonfiction?
Fiction. Yeah.
Oh,
Got, like,
cool.
very,
Okay.
very highly reviewed. So, it should be a quick read, like, a couple
Yeah.
100 pages. So, I should be able to
Nice.
finish it on the flight over tonight. But, yeah, just kind of a, refreshing thing to read. Speaking of Scotland, my buddy Greg was in town. Greg and Pam and Ava were in town, Aaron, last week. They had a great time, and, it was just fun to it was Greg's first time to the States before.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So, he liked Jacksonville. He liked the beach. Liked it out here. So,
Now, did Greg
um
make it up to Sweetens with our buddy
he
Jim
did.
Hartzell?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was with Jim up
Okay.
there and played the member guest, and then we're in Nashville for a couple days, and then came down here and, just hung out, went to the beach, and we played some golf. Randy, we went to Hyde Park, which, I talked about that a
Saw
little
that.
bit. This isn't a golf podcast, but, I do think it would be big of you and Neil to apologize at some point for your
So just a little backstory. The first time Neil and I ever went to Jacksonville, before either of us had lived there at all, was for the Players. I think this would have had to have been then in 2017.
Yeah.
And you guys were out at the tournament. Neil and I got into town and we are like, hey, where should we play golf? You're like, oh, you got to go to this place, Hyde Park. And we're like, okay, cool. You know, get out there. This was when the Players, I believe, was still in May. It was
I think they were I
120
think they were
degrees,
starting
it
to
felt like.
redo Jack's Beach too.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
Jack's Beach wasn't open. Yeah.
It was 120 degrees, it felt like. The course was in, I don't know, to be fair to the course, I'd say it was in tough condition. And
Listen, that sounds accurate.
I haven't walked off of many golf courses. We paid for 18 holes, and we both were like, "We're calling it after 9." We quit after 9. That's the only 9 I ever played at Hyde Park. Never went back out there when I lived down there. And truly, like, you and DJ all the time are just like, "Hyde Park's the best. Hyde Park, oh my
It
god, the
rules.
bones at Hyde Park." Yeah, and so
Some of the best bones I've ever seen.
it's
Like, it
always
might have had osteoporosis for a while.
yeah, it's always been this inside joke where I'm just like, "God, that was one of the worst experiences of my life on a golf course." But I'm glad you
Hated
went
that.
back out there, and it sounds like in much better condition.
Yeah, going back out in a few weeks. I think, like, 3 or 4 of the best holes in Jacksonville are out there, in
I
the
love
whole
it.
city. It's so good. So, anyway,
That's
and
the
it's in
best.
better
That's it.
shape. There's grass on the greens these days. They're building a new clubhouse, Randy. It was
Okay.
pace of play was awesome. We played in under 4 hours on a I think it was Thursday morning. We teed off at, like, 9:45, played in under 4 hours. Great.
Listen, if you just get the conditioning okay and you have a great pace, like, you're
Yeah,
90% of the way there to what makes, like, a good place to go play.
yeah. I've been cooking a lot, Randy. We can get into that on a future app. Just been cooking my face off lately. It's
I
been
think we
awesome.
do need to get in that in a
Yeah.
future app. I was gonna say it's officially chili season down here at TC, so I'm looking forward to making my first pot of chili.
Love that. What else? Our guy Trent Dilfer got fired.
Hate to see that.
I think that one was written in the stars for a while now. Your guy Signetti, he's cooking up in
Oh my
Indiana.
god. I hope he doesn't go to Penn State.
Oh, me too. It seems like Matt
He
Rule's gonna go to Penn State, but
yeah. I don't is Matt Rule any different really from James Franklin?
he's more likable. I think he's got better
Yeah.
bedside manner, and he's just a seems like a good guy at heart.
I'm not sure he's beaten Ohio State though, you know?
Yeah.
I don't
Um,
know.
I don't know. I just think it was one of those things that Spencer Hall had a good piece in their newsletter. Him and Holly of just, hey, like you hate everything about the coach that you've got, right? You find stuff to
Yeah.
hate. Um, so
How speaking of, where do we stand on Chuck Martin? This wasn't on the agenda. You know,
mm,
the Hawks have started 2-0 in the MAC. They're now 3-3 overall after losing their first 3 out of conference games.
I'm fine with Chuck. I've made peace with it. They're never gonna be. There's no ceiling there, but I think Chuck is great for Miami for what they are at this point.
I think that's right.
I think Miami should just drop down to FCS. Is
Or whatever happened, you know, the Big Ten's about to get like 2 billion in private
Yeah.
equity.
Yeah, we can
Uh
talk about that on a future app too.
I don't even know if it's like dropping down to FCS. It's gonna be like, let's create this major college football conference,
Yeah,
and then, like, everybody else left over and bring FCS teams up, you know? Like, there just has to be, like, a lower
yeah,
division underneath your Ohio States, your you know? And I think
totally.
that's where Miami will settle.
I need to
And
read
I
some more about that guy, that Cody guy down in Texas Tech too, who's getting in all the conference commissioners' asses right now.
okay.
Like buying up all those commercials and stuff too.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Okay.
um,
I I
yeah,
I think I need to make peace with Chuck Martin as well, and it's like it's going to be shame on me if I expect anything out of conference
yeah.
next year. That like that's on me.
And I think they're running a tough non-conference schedule, right? They're getting revenue games and floating a lot of the athletic department via that via those payouts. So it is what it is.
Okay,
Um, anything else? I mean, we had LeBron's tacky second decision. We got some knowers standing updates. I'm at 25.5. You're at 23. Neil's at 22.5. We have a new junior knower, and that's Poosh. I think a lot of people are going to be happy with that.
who's just pissed because he won last year. He says he won. I don't know if we ever actually tabulated the final standings, and he said he didn't even get a public acknowledgement,
Yeah.
which sounds tough. But what are you gonna
Yeah.
do? Do we need to talk
That's
about Mark Sanchez, or should we save that
I think
for
we save that.
more
There's
info?
there's gotta be more
Okay,
shoes to drop there. We've got some guys
okay,
on the ground up in Indy. We can save that. I gotta get going here in a sec. We both hate the Dodgers. I think that's fair. PCA, Pete Crow Armstrong, that guy's embarrassing.
I'm
What a
so glad you're
what a
on my block
disgrace.
here.
Yeah,
I planted my flag there so early. Yeah, he stinks. A good
yeah.
riddance to the Cubs.
And then last thing I've got, I was it was like late Saturday night a few weeks ago, and Maddie, my buddy Maddie, I was over at his house. We're just on the couch. We're just kind of hanging out, and the BYU game came on. We're watching BYU play somebody, and they've got this quarterback. His name's Bear Bachmeyer. He wears number
Yes.
47.
Yes. I know.
It was
TC, this is crazy because I just watched BYU Arizona late Saturday night
they're
lying
always
on
on
my
late.
hotel bed. Yes.
Yeah. And I was so struck by it. They've got a few other guys on the team that are wearing weird numbers. You know, you got tight ends wearing single digits or teens. You've got linemen wearing 80, 80 something skill, specialists wearing teams guys wearing weird numbers. It was just such a weird throwback. I loved it.
Yeah. Listen, I don't know if Bear's any good. Seems like a mega try hard. But it is a funny name, and having a quarterback wear 47, I do dig
Yeah.
that. I got down a rabbit hole just, like, looking up the BYU coach and, the
Oh,
BYU
Sataki. Yeah.
yeah, everything about that program and the people are just really interesting to me.
Yeah, it's a fascinating deal up there. Randy, I've been watching a lot of Georgia Tech. They have my heart. I know I
They're
had kind
good,
of
aren't
a
they?
oh, they're great. Haynes King is like just an absolute winner. The coach is likable. They're just well coached and they play their asses off. So, um, I would
It seems like
encourage
they
you
have a
to
path to a playoff spot maybe.
oh, for sure.
I mean, they're 6 and
Especially
0,
with
and I
them.
think they
Yeah.
avoid there's nobody like really looking that great in the ACC all of a sudden.
Yeah. Yeah, ACC is a mess. I'm still not even convinced that Miami is that good. I think the defense is that good. I don't trust Manny Diaz or uh what's his name? Cristobal as far as like in-game coaching.
Yeah, yeah.
But and then yeah, I just gotta gloat a little bit. The Jags just took the Chiefs down. It was awesome. Made me so happy. So many angry Chiefs fans, bandwagon fans in my mentions.
It's the best. It's the best. I know I said it on the Knowers episode, I think, but seeing the Chiefs get called for that defensive pass interference when they had picked it off in the like that,
Yeah.
chef's
Yeah.
kiss. Love that.
Yeah. I'm still riding a high on that. So Randy, that's all I got for this week. Let's
All right, well, we'll keep some stuff chambered.
yeah,
We'll be back probably what in a few weeks with a chop session like
yeah.
this. I think the next couple weeks will. I think the Booth boys will be back at some point. We'll do a World Series postseason baseball wrap episode. But yeah, we'll get back here, and we got some stuff to talk about.
Amen. And just to tie a bow on our FanDuel read, must be 21 or older and present in select states for Kansas in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 or older and present in DC, Kentucky, or Wyoming. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Is a gambling helpline, ma.org, or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. Until next time, Randy.
Godspeed.